Hey guys, how you doing? Back again. It's maybe the part of the evening, but I just wanted to let you know that I did promise I was gonna come back. I was just trying to get y'all tunes together, 'cause you know I always like the tunes. Hey, so anyhow, where did we leave off when we was talking last? Do y'all remember? Huh? Tonight I'm just gonna be Dwayne Xavier. I took host part off because I do not want y'all to say, "Oh, he's unprofessional." No, I took that host off just for the day because these are not really the show. These are just some recordings that I'm just doing for use, some special recordings. And this happened to be the 30 minutes that I would take if I was doing a recording. So just imagine if you're on a Saturday night, that is the probably the time that you're going to get. Like you'll be able to say, oh, just 30 minutes ain't much because I'll be able to cook dinner and do everything, get everything ready for the husband, your wife, your man, significant other, whatever. Get your food or whatever together early. And then after you get your food together, then you can come and you can chit chat with me for a little while. You know what I'm saying? And then, yeah. But let me turn this music down just a little bit. Okay. So we was talking about me when we first started the first time. We was talking about the people I work with. One of the most amazing people I work with was George Clinton. Okay, I'll tell you a little short story about him. I went to his hotel room. I had to do his hair, and he had on one of those like little smoker's robe, and he had a mature Caucasian woman, which was his girlfriend. And I was like, this the vibes feel real weird. And of course, I was in California, so at the time, most people in California they kind of they kind of weird a little bit. That's just my opinion. All right, I'm not gonna go into that. But anyway, he was went in. They weren't doing any drugs or anything, but it was just a weird vibe. And so I went there. I went to pay different color synthetic hair and braid it into his hair because that was his thing. He wore long dreads and he would intertwine like the synthetic hair in his dreads and stuff. So that's what I went there to actually do. And I don't know why the camera looked like the lighting kind of adjusted or something, but I'm not gonna take the time to go look and see because all my lights are on and stuff. It's just probably I don't know. Anywho, so oh yeah, and I went into his room and I was on his head, and just because like the feeling of the room was kind of weird and everything, I was like, let me tell you, when I was getting ready to leave, he was like, can I do anything? I said, yeah, you give me one of those signed copies. So he had a book that was there, so he wrote his signature on it and everything. It's probably a collector's item now, and it was something else that I probably lost over my lifetime. Because sometimes it's just hard to, um, well, it's been hard to hold on to some things for some reason, but I like creating new memories anyway. They're always the best ones because I ain't attached to nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm able to just like say, I would old image now. All right, so Tina Marie. I worked with Tina Marie. I used to go to her house. She lived in the valley in California, and I did her hair and everything. Um, she was a beautiful person. Um, I met her through Rick James. I didn't actually do Rick James, but I did a lot of his band members. Like you remember the Mary Jane girls, Maxie, the white girl, and JoJo and stuff. I did. I think I did. I've done Maxie hair several times. She was a regular client of mine, and then I've done Candy, her hair. Okay, but anyway, I work with CC Pennison. Yeah, she was like in the past. I toured with her and kind of act as her manager every once in a while when her real manager James didn't show up, who was my best friend, but he died unfortunately years ago, and we love him. But I've done a lot of hair shows, product endorsements, like for Yugo blow dryers and stuff. I used to do the platform work at the Barnum Brothers and Bailey's, the hair shows they used to have. And that was a part of my life. Hair was like I was big in hair. Let me tell you, I lived in Baltimore, Maryland, which was my born place. I went to high school there. All a lot of my childhood friends, but I left Baltimore when I was very young. And what I'm saying is, I probably like in '85. I was graduating from high school, and I left. And then I ended up going to California, and I lived in California until probably like 2008 or 9 or something like that. But at any rate, I left California and went to Atlanta, and I lived in Atlanta for a while, for at least 5 or 6 years, and then I left Atlanta and I went to Chicago. I only lived there for a year. It was way too cold for me. And then now I'm in New York. And I feel like I'm at home. Honestly, it's like New York is it's popping. It's the place where anybody want to be somebody, or anybody who's been somebody, or anybody who just finally just want to be, just live, just have a life you want to. Because sometimes life can kick you in the ass with all the stuff that's going on, the diseases, coronavirus, this, all these different things have been going on. And most of the time, a lot of us are kind of like, um, where do we go from here? You know, I don't know about you, but the deaths alone and coronavirus was a lot. That was a whole lot right there, the loss. And then on top of the loss and stuff, then the loss of financially of food, and the people didn't want to communicate, didn't want to talk, and we had to get all readjusted to the normal way of living. And if you think about it, we still ain't all 100% there yet. There's some ramifications behind that kind of shit that happen. And I'm just being honest with you. Right now, I'm being on today now that them vaccines threw my equilibrium off. When I walked outside, my equilibrium was thrown off. But anyway, back to Baltimore and stuff. I was born there as a baby. There I am right there. Let me put it up for y'all. That's me as a baby. I was in a high chair. It was cute. I was a cute little boy. Y'all know I was cute and whatever. And then this is when I don't know, I keep clicking twice. This is when I started getting into my like little young man stage or whatever, you know what I mean? And that was really, really special. And then this is my memories of when I went to my high school prom and stuff. Yeah, that girl name was Dawn. I don't know how we ended up going to the prom together, but I know I asked her. And it wasn't a love interest or anything. It had something to do with me just liking her as a person. I thought she was real, real nice. And then that's me getting a trophy at I was homecoming king, and I won something else, but I don't know what it was because I don't remember. As you get older, we don't remember. But those are like some of my memories that I have, like just from, just from growing up. Okay, so I'm just kind of giving y'all a little a little synopsis or something so you get to know me because when you tune into the podcast, I want you to be like, oh, I know that brother. I know him. I've been knowing him. Just go back up. And if you don't know me, you're going to get to know me by now. Um, I pride myself in being black excellence. That's what I pride myself is. That's my motivation and everything. I think we all need to strive for black excellence because we all are African Americans, not just African Americans, we represent each other. So how we conduct ourselves, the things we say, and it's not a matter of doing what somebody told you to do. It's about doing what's right. And some of us just use that normal humanity that we have about ourselves, that normalness. Like some people, I hope you got it. Not everybody got it and stuff. Um, Anywho, so I am licensed cosmetologist in Los Angeles, California, and I'm also licensed in Atlanta, Georgia, and stuff. When I came to New York, I haven't applied to get my license and stuff in New York, but it should be an easy thing to do something called retrostopping or retro something, which I gotta look into. But I've been here for almost 3 years now, and it's just it's to get established in New York. You go like to go out there and put the work in. That's all I'm saying. Ain't nothing would just happen for you. Once you get established, you're on top of the world. I can tell you that much. Let me see. Hold on. By the way, if you like this sweater and stuff, I make these. Well, me and my partner, we do. We make them, and you can. I'm gonna be doing all the coordinates, and I'm gonna be doing, a lot of these. Um, Give me a second. I'm gonna see. You can see, but we buy these from stores, and they say, "Well, see, Crystal, we take and we place them on sweatshirts and these ties and everything. We get all that kind of stuff." But anyway, there'll be a time where I'll get the support from you guys, or offer the marketing information about that, because that's something that I'm going to be doing as I move along. It's just not important to me right now because it's manual labor, and I do not do manual labor, but I have done it for myself. But people are asking me about them, and they're like, "Oh my God, that's nice, that's nice." So now they're asking, I gotta produce it. You know what I'm saying? Mine is bar. I got the know how. Um, and by the way, if you do place an order, you get it right away because I got the equipment and everything, the iron press and everything right here in my office, and I will make something for you right away. In fact, that can be a gift if you listen. If you go out and tell your friends and you get people to subscribe to my YouTube channel and Spotify. Spotify is new. I haven't came up on Spotify, but all of these recordings that I'm doing right now, they're gonna be uploaded to Spotify too. The difference between Spotify and YouTube is one of them I can go live, which is YouTube, but Spotify is more of a platform where you have to stream it, so it won't be live on it, but it'll be the same recording. They just get it afterwards. And so if I do a show on a Saturday at 6 o'clock, I probably won't go live on Spotify until like 7 because I gotta have an hour. I gotta at least look at it, make sure ain't no editing has to be done. And a lot of times it's not because I'm raw, I'm not fake. It's just gonna be what it is. Um, yeah. So I also have a degree as a culinary chef. I went to culinary school. Well, growing up as a sibling, I had one sister and I had two brothers that I grew up with. The third brother we didn't grow up really, but he's my brother. He's my blood. But we all would be together, my brothers, and we had to cook for each other and fend for each other and do for each other. Each one of us, we took care of each other. Back in those days where your parent would go to work and she had to leave you. You go to school, she had to leave you. And you had to be responsible enough to cook for yourself. And my mom used to go to this place called Mary's Steakhouse. I don't know if y'all know, if y'all from Baltimore, if y'all know, but you go to Mary's, you used to get all your frozen meats, hamburger meats, steaks, and hash browns, and all kinds of stuff. My mother used to come and freeze. So I was a master frying of some food and stuff. Probably right now, and did is probably one of my problems with my cholesterol level. Because back when I was growing up, I used to fry. I not just fry, but I always cooked and made some good stuff. Um, yeah, so I got a degree in culinary arts, and I love to cook. You know what I'm saying? I cook every single night. I always find some time to go out and get me some fresh vegetables. It's always going to be a fresh meat because I don't like frozen food or whatever. You know what I mean? Not unless I'm going to be doing some event or something, and I need to care to me get to do all the shopping earlier because of timing and stuff. But other than that, I try to get, because I'm cooking for a small amount of people. It's two people, so since that's the way it is, I always go out and I'll get food that is fresh. I get fresh produce, and if I'm gonna use some herbs or whatever, you know what I'm saying. And then I'm already, as far as all the marinations, the sauces, the stocks, the seasonings, the herbs, and all that kind of stuff. I always have all that stuff on hand, so I can cook and make anything. But now, I was never like, I learned baking. I know baking is more precise in its cooking algorithms. So you got to know how to, if you want to bake, you got to know. But baking is, it's a science, So I know what the science is. I know how to bake because I used to make coffee cake and different types of cookies, whether it was crispy, moist, or strudel or whatever. But we made all kinds of cookies, pie crust, different types of cakes. Um, Baking was a really good thing. And then I said, hey, when you go to culinary school, it's not a cook. I'm not a cook. I didn't go cook. I went to culinary school. I got a degree, and I learned everything everything I knew about cooking when I grew up. I had to throw out the window because I had to learn all of the new stuff. And you learn so much that's important. But the main thing that's important is the ins and out of food that you put inside of a refrigerator. That's why they have dates on them. So you should be able to, when you put something in the refrigerator, first in is always first out. So don't, especially with condiments. I hate to go to somebody's house and they pass me a bad condiment and I have to tell them I can't eat that honey because it's outdated. You know what I'm saying? It's like, don't you read your numbers? So I think sanitization and keeping germicides and stuff down to a minimum in your kitchen and in your bathroom is important. Always keep a clean bathroom. Those two right there represent you. If I ever come to your house and your refrigerator is dirty inside or your toilet is dirty around the rim or however it is, your bathroom is dirty, then that means you dirty. I'm just telling you because there's no reason why you would wash and do all of that inside of a sink that has not been sanitized. I'm not gonna put my skin or face or hands and nothing like that. Um, think about it. But anywho, this again is just you kind of getting to know me. I'm gonna chop this up probably. Some of you gonna have the opportunity to look at the whole thing, but I'm gonna chop it up, and do some other things. We got some shows that's gonna be coming up that is really, really interesting. The show topics that's coming up. The first show that's going to be coming up is going to be Generational Curses. And I got a guest artist. His name is Vance Mack. He is going to be on the show. And then I got two different books, two different authors. One from a psychological and one from one from a psychological and one from a spiritual aspect, and they both are deep. It's not really about what somebody the injury that they went through or something, because we ain't trying to put people's mess on the table. That show is basically about the fact that we've all gone through them and that there are a lot of side effects that, like a lot of patterns we do in life, is based on them generational curses. So we have to acknowledge that they there first. Sometimes we hard heads, we hard to acknowledge that something is there because we only want to face up to improving ourselves because we don't want to hear nothing wrong about ourselves. But if you do take the time to like realize you got some situations, some issues and stuff, and I'm gonna give you some examples of what I'm talking about at the time of the show. I have them all listed and go over the examples, and then I'm gonna also have my co-host Steven. He gonna chime in and give us his intellect on it, and then I'm gonna have Vance Mack and stuff. And I didn't reveal, but I'm gonna reveal it right now. Vance Mack is my first cousin. Yeah, and the only way they gonna know that is if you look at this, edit this part right here. He's my first cousin. I love him, and I went through some generational curses in my family and stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's not like the one he experienced and everything, because they're two different things, two different issues and stuff. But I'm not afraid to talk about mine. I was raped when I was growing up and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it was really raped, if you want to call it rape, because rape is when something is done to harm you. It wasn't done to harm me, but I was touched, molested. And I thought everybody that looked at me could see what happened to me. So I was devastated, and I was embarrassed, and it made me more of an introvert. And it took me to acknowledge that as a kid, I wasn't wrong for what happened to me. It was not my fault. And now that I know it's not my fault, I was able to heal from it and everything. You know what I'm saying? And also forgive the person who actually did what they did. You know who you are. But I'm not going into that because that's not important. But yeah, so that's my truth. It's my truth. It don't have nothing to do with nobody else. And and this caused problems with me in relationships and how I look at people and the trust that I develop in them and all kinds of different stuff. But I acknowledge that that's what it was, and I've changed. I've changed. I've changed. And that's why I'm able to talk about it to help somebody that's out there because trust me, there are people out there that go through this, there are kids out there that experience this. And if you're one of those people, I want you to go out and seek you some help. Go out to find somebody. Do not get caught up in drugs. Do not get with the wrong type of people. Do not make the wrong decisions in life. I want you to move forward in realizing that your self-worth is way more than that and go out and get some help. There are a lot of free organizations that are out there. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of free organizations out there. There's a lot of men's groups and women's groups and kids groups that are free that are in New York City. New York is the city for everything. And they will help and they will support. If you want our one of my shows, I'll get some telephone numbers or something like that for the subscribers. If you feel like you need something, I want you to text that in the box too, and then I'll definitely on one of my shows bring this up again, this issue, and I'll post the addresses and stuff. I'll do the research for you. Another one of the shows that so it's about breaking generational curses. But another one of the shows is why do people lie? Oh my God, that is a really really crazy subject that we're talking about. I want people to dial up and call in on that. I mean, I need y'all calling, 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 calling. That's why I need the subscriptions. And I'm telling you, if you go out and you get people to subscribe, you know what I'm saying? Or if the person subscribe and they put your name in my chat box, I promise you, I will send you one of these shirts. Not this kind, but I'll make one like this with this. I'm coming all up to the blinging on it and stuff. It'll be some of your choice, the color your choice, not the blinging your choice, but the color your choice and stuff. And I'll send it to you. I promise you. I promise send it to you. I just want to see some people going out and do some response. Just like my stuff. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe to it. Do all that for me. All right. All right. So I'll grow. Yeah, but why do people lie? That's gonna be really, really interesting and stuff. Sorry, I put up one of my marketing pictures, which is not real good. Yeah. So, anywho, I showed you pictures of my childhood. You got to see how I was when I grew up and everything. Tell me another thing. I was thinking about doing an application and stuff. I'm not saying I'm thinking about doing an application. I am doing an application, and it's going to be something that you can download on your phones, and then you can talk directly to me. Yep. It's going to be something really, really good. And then also, it's going to show you the different segments and stuff that are going to come up that are coming. It's going to show you old segments that are pre-taped, and it's going to show you the new segments with the titles and stuff of what we talked about. Unfortunately, these tapings right here that I'm doing, they're not being titled like that. They're just titled intro to Dwayne Xavier. That's all it is, because these are the launch date for this podcast is November the 1st. It's not today. These are not clippings for that show. These are clippings just introducing myself to you, letting you get to know me. Because I believe that before you tune into something, you got to know the person. If you hear me and something catch you or whatever, or you like something I said, then you'll tell somebody else about it or something. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Um, I'm glad we were able to spend some time together. I'm glad that we are actually here. You know what I'm saying? It's really nice to talk to you. The thing is when I'm going live, I just want y'all to know there's going to be a live chat that's going to be attached to this recording, because these are pre-taped. They're not a live chat. This is just directly me talking to you. But the whole basis of this talk show is that it has client and audience participation and stuff. So you'll be able to participate and you'll be able to tell me like what you think, what are the things that's on your mind and all that kind of stuff. And that's really important to me because I want us to always be talking about current affairs, but talk about things that interest you. You see what I'm saying? What do people want to hear and talk about? Because I can talk about anything, and trust me, if I ain't lived it, I sure can research it. How about that and stuff? But if I lived it, I'm gonna be honest and tell you I lived it, because that's where my passion is gonna come from. Because it's definitely gonna tell you I've been in that situation. I know exactly, and I don't care what people think. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. So if I'm not here to judge nobody. And when you tell me you experience something, I'm gonna listen to you. But when I tell you I experience something, if you can't speak life into the situation, just don't comment. I'm serious, don't comment. Because it's not about you getting vexed with me or me getting vexed with you. This is about us just having opinions and having some serious adult conversation with two different people that can agree to disagree. That's what it is. Yeah. And we can talk about anything. Anything. Okay. So, anywho, it looks like it's 26 minutes and 32 seconds. They give you a timer when you're doing these shows, which is good because you're able to look up and keep on track. You know what I'm saying? And these are freelance shows. These not scripted. Ain't none of my shows gonna be scripted. I'm just telling y'all, if y'all looking for a script show, it's gonna be about coming here, looking at the fashion that Dwayne got on for the day. You know what I'm saying? His personality and stuff. Sometimes I might take y'all into the kitchen and let y'all see me cook because I love to cook. I'm gonna have different types of situations that you're going to see. But most of my shooting is going to be here in my podcast studio where I have guest audience seats and things like that. And when I come, when I actually go live launch, you're going to see that studio and you're going to be like, wow, it's nice. And it's a nice foundation for a start, humbly. Hey, don't you feel like you're getting to know me? Because I sure feel like I know you, and I'm so happy about this relationship that we're about to embark on. Because I ain't gonna say I feel famous or something, but I've done some stuff in my lifetime, and I got some stories to tell. And sometimes you can't remember everything. You just can't. I don't know my age. I can't remember everything. However, out of sight, out of mind. But when I'm talking about stuff, those stories come up. So I got some stuff that's gonna hate you guys are stitches. I know I do. Um, it is a really nice fall night in New York City. The leaves are falling from the trees. The temperature has been in its 60s. You know, the brownstones, the neighborhoods looking beautiful, people out there congregating and doing their things. It's really nice. It's nice. This is the type of year that I like. And I look forward to spending that 30 minutes with you every Saturday and from November the 1st so that we can always talk about something because when we walk away from here, we're going to always realize we talked about something that was important. That's it. We always do. I love you guys. I love humanity. I love all the people that's out there. Doesn't matter the color you are or whatever. I don't wish no bad on nobody. That's what I want you to take away from this show tonight. I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you for tuning in to Chatterbox. And this is your host, Dwayne Xavier. He's here for you all the time.